First on the MEX talk stage this year is Lakin Valdez. Born and raised in the extended family of El Teatro Campesino, Lakin Valdez served as the company's artistic associate director from 2000 to 2005. Lakin has devised, written, and directed over a dozen plays, culminating in work that reflects the rich history and vibrant culture of the Latino Chicano community. He is the recipient of many honors, including 3 National Performance Network Creation Fund Awards, a TCG Global Connections Development Grant, and an NEA Access to Excellence Award. Ladies and gentlemen, Lakin Valdez.
Buenas tardes. How's everyone doing tonight? Isn't it a beautiful night? Well, it's an honor and a privilege to be here on this stage, sharing this evening with you for MEX Talks. So, just going to go for it. Get started. So, growing up in a family of committed artists and activists gave me a profound understanding of the value of creative discipline, artistic excellence, and compassion. It can be summed up in the Mayan word for work, Mayan. To believe is to create, is to do, with love and pain. The thing is, if we feel love, then we're going to feel pain. If we feel pain, then inevitably we're going to feel love. That's just the basic truth of it. The Mayan concept had a tremendous impact on my way of thinking and was taught to me at the age of 7, around the first time I performed with El Teatro Campesino, the farm workers' theater, based in San Juan Bautista, California. Founded in 1965, El Teatro Campesino was created for the purpose of primarily using theater as a form of nonviolent direct action. Transformative art that would not only just recreate reality, but change it. It was my father, Luis Valdez, who was the writer and director. He founded the theater company during the Great Delano Break Strike, led by Cesar Chavez and Dolores Huerta. This was during a period of intense activism and cultural change within the country, particularly when the Chicano and Black Power movements had reached their apogee. Historically, we understand the 60s as this momentous period in our culture, revolutionary politics and artistic expression, but in many ways, it comes back again to Mayan, the connection between love and pain and growth. Everything's cyclical, but we have to imagine a world where that spiral moves upward. Progress. That's what it's about. Progress, the spiral. But I think it's positive. I think it's possible to take this art that we use and use it to affect our world in a positive manner. Especially at a time right now where things seem to be moving backwards, politically. We have so many challenges ahead of ourselves, but I think it's important to stay positive. At 13 years old, I remember being acutely aware of art as being a vehicle for social change. I still use it to this day. Even then, I wouldn't step into a Safeway grocery store, if you're familiar with Safeway, because I only do it as the Fuchi Kaka store. Safeway is almost kind of like Dominic's in Chicago. They kind of have the same products, but anyway. The Safeway store, grocery chain, actually didn't support the boycott of grapes. So to many of us in California, it was known as a place to boycott. Now this was yet another powerful form of nonviolent direct action. The ability to boycott a business because patronage is the key to any successful business. The other form I became intimately familiar with is satire. The ability to poke fun at those in power as a way to take power back. Think about it. If your status as an undocumented immigrant in this country forces you to never question your position in this country as anything but a second-class citizen, then the power of playing the boss or the politician becomes an exercise in the reclamation of one's own empowerment. I remember having that realization, creating my first devised theater piece that told the story of a community of farm workers living in the San Joaquin Valley. I don't know if you remember a movie called McFarland. It came out several years ago with Kevin Costner. Anyway, During that same time period in which the movie takes place, the community in McFarland had their water supply contaminated with pesticides, resulting in hundreds, if not almost 1,000 people developing cancer. Our theater troupe from El Teatro Campesino Young Actors Ensemble worked directly with the children from this community to develop a play about their experience. It was the first time I had done research in a community-based setting. But it was also very clear what the life and death stakes were. The children in McFarland felt empowered in a way that art could only do. Many of the schools didn't offer drama courses or even an after-school program, so the value of providing this creative space was transformative for them. The children themselves felt it was necessary to poke fun at their local politicians because to them they were a bunch of hypocrites. So they played those roles with force, with gusto, with power, with humor. It was through satire that we were able to address a very heavy subject matter. Our work gave us the opportunity to laugh together, cry together, resulting in a performance piece that we toured around the San Joaquin Valley and highlighted a critical issue in performance. That was the moment I realized that theater was a weapon, not a violent weapon, but an artistic and proactive one. Many of these children I still know went on to become professional artists, scholars, activists, including myself. It was a transformative time for me. I would define this experience as a pure example of mania. The ability to work and understand your love and your pain as a means to get to truth in your work. Years later, as a young adult, fresh out of college and eager to live by a mandate of social activism and art making, I discovered what it meant to be a self-actualized human being and artist. Spirituality has always been a foundation of my work. But really, that spirituality is contingent on a few things. Our connection to this earth and to the cosmos. Finding out what the unique li is, which is another Maya Yucateco word that literally translates to vibrant being, was key to that. It is our infinite human potential. We all have it. The artist as creator exemplifies this universal and spiritual potential we are all bestowed with as creators of ourselves. The artist as creator. Think about it. You are all artists in your own way. We all are. Because of this concept, I discovered another principle of art making by reconnecting with our history as a people intimately tied to this continent. My bloodline, as many can relate to, is an amalgam of multiple cultures, traditions, and histories, but in the end, all in all, I can call myself a Mexican-American, or a Chicano. A vibrant Chicano, at that. Our roots and connection to this continent reaffirm a standing that designates us as stewards of this place we call America. And our history here gives us the right to create ourselves holistically. We can say that the struggle to find our place in America has been going on for centuries, but it has never been more apparent than the plight of the undocumented worker, immigrant, and indigenous people who found themselves perpetually displaced. As we've witnessed in the last few months, nothing can be more horrific than witnessing the displacement of families and the separation of children from their parents. During the time all of this was taking place, I was working in a rural village down in Guatemala, conducting workshops and theater training for a community of teachers and students who were fully aware of what was happening in the norte. In an effort to address this social political reality, we framed our workshop process and our entire theater-making creation to highlight the struggle of this particular community. The art became a vehicle for discussion and healing, but more importantly, allowed us to reinforce our collective empowerment by artistically vibrating across cultures and communities to imagine a world where we all find justice as a people. Art, in this sense, can truly heal. The purest example of unique lead is giving of ourselves beyond the limitations of our societal roles to discover that our creativity is a road to our highest spiritual potential. Knowing this power is almost like lucid dreaming, almost a spiritual form of creativity that allows us to understand compassion, that gives us the opportunity to find resolve in the midst of conflict, even if it's conflict within ourselves. This brings me to the last concept I want to introduce to you this evening, and that is Imlakesh. Tú eres mi otro yo. You are my other self. You may have heard of this before, but if not, I'll explain it to you. You see, every human being is connected whether we like it or not. It's our interconnectivity that defines our existence. Tú eres mi otro yo. If I do harm to you, I do harm to myself. If I love and respect you, I love and respect myself. It's simple. The ancient concept applies to how we treat each other as people, but more importantly, how we treat our world. Imlakesh is rooted in our ancient American culture and has much to teach us. It's really not that difficult to understand. If Mother Earth isn't doing well, then neither are we. So, a few years ago, I was commissioned to write a play for a national touring company. This was an opportunity to put my artistic mandate into practice and dramatize an issue near and dear to me. And that was the threat to ethnic studies. At the time, Tucson, Arizona, Mexican-American studies was under attack by the Tucson School Board. Several times they attempted to ban a successful ethnic studies program because they deemed that it was racially and culturally biased. Students who participated in the program showed higher test scores and graduation and attendance rates and were far more disciplined than their similar peers who did not participate. It was not only upsetting but extremely disturbing that our history and our contributions to this country was considered inappropriate. How could a course that focused on contemporary and historic contributions of Mexican Americans be deemed inappropriate to a student base? It was confounding. In Tucson High, one of these courses taught something I grew up learning, and that was the concept of Imlakesh. Curtis Acosta, a teacher there who taught literature, began every class in the morning with the students saying, Imlakesh, tú eres mi otro yo, as a mantra. It was powerful to witness how impactful this was to their students, but also very tragic to know that this philosophy was under attack. That's when I decided to use theater as a way, as a tool, to promote this story across the country, given the platform that I was given. The story itself was called Searching for Aslan. It was a beautiful piece that toured from the East Coast to the West Coast and in the Midwest. It allows students from across the country to be able to share those experiences of the threats to ethnic studies programs around the country and effectively spread the message wide and clear. I think the biggest threat to our democracy is sitting back on the sidelines and doing nothing. Make waves, make noise, educate people. If we have something to contribute, whether that's art or our business savvy, then do it. Make a contribution. That is exactly what I committed myself to doing, especially since most of the poorest communities in our country do not have access to arts education. I can imagine doing anything else but share what I've learned throughout my entire life. And these are the concepts. Menya, to believe is to create, is to do with love and pain. Winikli, to vibrate, to share our highest human vibration with each other. And Imlakesh, to build a greater society, a greater world for all people, and to effectively work for positive change for all peoples on this earth. That is art. That is the creative act in all its power. Gracias y adelante.